To those that are just showing up. Be starting in a couple minutes. Standard practice. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start. So good morning, guys. Uh, so it's 9:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time out here in Maryland, and we had a pretty good day yesterday. Uh, so hopefully some of you guys or gals actually saw the stream yesterday. Um, Today we're going to do a little bit more of the same. Just a real quick synopsis of where the market is right now. I don't know if some of you are actively trading today or not. Um, but you know that the healthcare bill is still in turmoil right now in Washington. That bill was supposed to be decided yesterday, and they got pushed back to today because of a lack of support on it. So what's going on now is they're still trying to reach an agreement, and we just don't know if that's going to happen. Now, once that decision is made, the markets could go crazy. You could see a lot of volatility, likely against the euro if if an agreement isn't reached on the bill, because Trump has given an ultimatum of if you guys don't take the bill, then we're going back to Obamacare, basically. Really stupid kind of ultimatum, which obviously I don't agree with. But it could cause some issues with the dollar. A lot of analysts are saying that this could be the end of the greenback for some time. With Trump being so positive for the dollar, this could be the cherry on the top, you know. So that's where things are today. So I'm still cautious. I'm still cautious of the market in my approach. So how did we do? Uh, well, I think I just showed it this during the music that I did. Let's see if I make sure that this is refreshed. Yeah, 0.34% profit during the day yesterday. We're at 0.07, which isn't a whole lot today. Um, and it's just because there hasn't been a lot of volatility. Most traders are, I'm not sure why I clicked on that ad. Most traders are waiting for the bill to be decided before they actually start entering the market. So expect that we are not going to see a lot of action today until that happens, or if that even does happen. So a lot of people just waiting around. So where I wanted to go today was show you where the trades were taken, how they were taken, how many levels we went. I'm going to talk a lot about martingale strategies today, in particular, and how it benefits this strategy, um, and why martingale doesn't have to be necessarily bad um, for all trading strategies. It can be worked with. It just has to be you just have to use it very carefully. So uh, let's go over the trades that I took yesterday. Now, you guys know that typically trades are in for a pretty short amount of time. Usually I say about an hour, but it depends on the market and volatility. Since we've had lower volatility, my trades have been in for a bit longer of a time. Um, and I have a test running in the background, which I'll talk about maybe later. But let's zoom in here. So you can see well, you can kind of see where the original order was. It was right in here. So that was order one from yesterday. I think that was after the stream. And we had order 2 here, 3, and 4 at the bottom, then the recovery here. Now, I did say that I would do some manual intervention with some of these scalped trades, and I did. I actually turned off my EA, so I just clicked on this auto trading button, and let the market continue to push up. As you can see, if I can zoom in here, I exited right at the peak of that range. Sorry, you're gonna hear some my FX book going on in the background. I have a couple of platforms up. So yeah, so you can see here the bounce and then the bounce back down. So I was able to capture that. Now, did I know it was going to reverse right there? No. I just had I took out my trades at this point because I felt like it was a good place to exit my trades, and I came out with a decent profit, and then it reversed right after that. So yeah, I got lucky. I got lucky for exiting my trades there. The sound is not good. Let me see. Let me see what you're hearing for exiting my trades there. Thank you. Yes, I'm getting some feedback. Let me see what I can find. Find out here. It might be Skype that's doing it. I'm going to see if I can close Skype down. Okay. Thank you for notifying me about the sound. Bear with me, guys. Thank you for notifying me about the sound. I don't know what the problem is. Um, hmm. I don't want to spend too much time with it because let me see if this does anything. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Andy, you got here on time right when my sound isn't working. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Andy, you got here on time right when my sound isn't working. Sorry, guys. All right, let me see. Uh, hmm. So something that I'm going to probably have to test out. I don't know why my headset's doing that. I'll try reattaching it. Maybe something came out. Okay, I'm gonna give this a try. I don't want you guys to be annoyed with the stream and how it sounds. Okay, I'm gonna give this a try. Ugh, it's still not. I don't want you guys to be annoyed. Uh, if you can bear with me on the sound for some reason, I don't know why this is happening. Um, I'll try to see if I can figure it out. It could be something with the stream. But yeah, there's like an echo going on. So yeah, apologize for that. Um, and I'll try to work on that later on. But I don't want to spend a lot of time having you guys just watch me try to fix the sound in the background. At least you can hear me. So uh, let's go back to the trades that I was in. So I had one trade that was entered, but since there was a really low market volume, it took a while for that to close, about an hour or two. But during the course of last night, I had some trades that went in. So you see order 1, order 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the top order was actually quite fairly large at this point. So 3.84 lots on a $24,000 account. So this spanned the range was 30 pips, and eventually it did pull back down. Now that's the problem with martingale, right? Is this kind of idea? If we're doubling the lot size after on every order that goes against us every 6 pips, we can get into trouble pretty fast, right? Well, I am starting pretty small at 0. I'm actually starting at 0.09. I decided to cut back on the risk a bit Typically I would do 0.12 on this count size, but I did 0.09. Now I'm going to get into that now, so you guys can better understand why my calculations on this. So this is what we're doing. So 0.09 is doubling to 0.18, and then 36, 0.72, 144, 288, 576, 1152, 2304, and 4608. Now these are the lot sizes. So this is the progression that we're using, that I'm using. So we're able to go 10 levels. Now if we do the math with that, which we do 6 times 10, 60. So we're able to go 60 pips against us before we have a margin call, really. Before we can't go any more levels. Now, why does it have to stop at 46 lots? Because unfortunately, LMFX has a max lot size per order is 50. So I have to stay within that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start modifying my EA so it will place 2 orders at the next level. That's something that I could consider doing, but I may hold off for now. So that's why I'm keeping at 0.09 so I can keep this progression up to 10 levels. Typically, I won't need this last level. Most of the time, I don't go more than 8 or 9 levels in the worst case scenarios, but I always have the 10th level as a backup. Now, it's not to say that that may not happen. We went 6 levels right here just last night. Now, why did we go 6 levels? Because we had low volatility in order 1, the volatility increased on the push up, and then we did have that pullback, and we did capture that. The cool thing about this, guys, about martingale, or the interesting thing about martingale is that, yes, it can go 30 pips against us, but we only need a retracement of about 5 pips. So retracement of 5 pips even when 30 pips go against us. That's how martingale can work. That is if you are conservative on your profit values. So yes, I'm having high lot sizes, but my profit is conservative. So I only took about $5 to $8 profit on this particular trade. And obviously it wasn't the best position because we had so many orders. But it does mean that we can have the market go against us so quite a few pips before actually having that 5 pip pullback. So we can it can go against us. The market can go against us 60 pips, and during that 60 pips, we only need 5 pips in the opposite direction during that bracket of 60, and that almost always happens. But it depends on the volatility of the market. Where things are moving, how strong the trend is, and that's why we watch for the market and what's happening in the news as well to make sure that we're giving our system the best opportunity to profit. Okay, so recently this morning we had a couple of trades as well. So order 1, order 2, both were exited here at this level. So what does that look like? Let me zoom in. So order 1. And two right at the peak, which is kind of nice. And that we had a 6 pip difference. So order 1 to order 2 was 6 pips, and then order 2 to the take profit was just 3.5 pips. So we didn't need a lot. Sorry, I'm having a cat here all over my face right now. I have a cat, and he gets everywhere. So we have another order here after this big push, hit at the top, and it came back down. This order came in right before the news. So it was at about 8:10. 8:10, the news was coming out at 8:30 this morning, so about 20 minutes. It wasn't heavy news. It was Forex Factory. It was the core durable goods, which wasn't huge. The numbers weren't that big, so it didn't affect the market that much. And I did, out of precaution, turn off my robot or my EA just in case. And so I closed this trade out a little early, or quite a bit early, in anticipation for that. You can see here, let me move down to there we go. order here, exited here at this point. It's only like a matter of like one or two pips. Um, so that looks like 30.34% profit on my account during most of the day, and I've only had 3 trades today, which equals out to be 0.7%. We haven't had any big trades yet on the pound CAD. I'm waiting for an inside candle for that to happen, so I need this to push up a bit more, and then to have an inside candle after that. We had a setup here, but I missed that because I was just setting up in the broker. So I'm waiting for another one before I can take that. The big profit from single trades will come from that actual system. But we haven't had any setups since early yesterday. Okay, so I gotta get this cat hair off my nose. That's driving me nuts. All right, so we have a potential trade that may go in here in a second. But as we're waiting, I'm gonna talk you guys through how I'm using this. Actually, let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we did just have a trade that entered. So now you guys will be able to watch this now. And before I get into other things, I'm just going to have you watch this on screen to see how it behaves over the next few minutes. This candle is actually pretty big. I mean, it's not huge. It's just about a 5-pip candle. And you saw where our entry was placed. So it basically went 1 pip below the green line here, or band line, and then it entered the trade. Now there always will be a little bit of slippage, and you also have to keep in mind this is not an ECN account. This is a regular account, spread count. So I am paying a 1 to 2 pip spread on the euro US dollar, and so you have to keep that in mind for the bounce. When it went lower, my order was entered a little bit higher. So right now we're looking for about 5 pips profit on this trade, and 5 pips profit will equal out to be about $4.50 on the trade. If this order moves into profit and we hit that, that's great. It means that we had just one level. That's about the ideal situation. I want trades to be like this. I want trades just to be one level, because that means it's simple and easy. We don't have a lot of levels for the martingale. And it means obviously low risk. So let me see if there's any questions coming in before I get into some of the things. Okay. Your mic sounds like it has some echo. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Scott. I haven't been able to figure out why that's the case. It's happened in one of my other videos, and I guess I restarted my computer, and I think it may be fixed. I'm going to try one other thing here to see if that works. So bear with me for 1 second or 30 seconds, and we'll see if that works. Okay, let's see if you guys can hear me now. Sorry, I'm getting chatted from other places. Okay, let's see if you guys can hear me. Okay, now it looks like that is it. Sorry, I'm getting chatted from other places. Okay, let's see if you guys can hear me. Okay, now it looks like that is Sorry, it. I'm getting chatted from other. All right, I think that worked. So I just had to disable something. I guess that I had two mics coming in. So now I forgot what I was going to do. Oh yeah, I was looking at the chat. When are you starting your EA? So my EA is already started, by the way. So you can see that we had a trade going. And this is exactly what I wanted to show you guys, is when trades actively go in, you get a chance to watch how a scalp type of system works. Now I'm gonna go further than that. I'm actually gonna send you guys this indicator. So this is the indicator that the magic indicator, right? This one that has the three bands. It's kind of like a Bollinger Band type of indicator, but it does repaint, but it does show us the price typically does fall into these bands, which is kind of nice. Um, so that indicator, let's see if I can have this run in the background. Um, let's see. Okay, there we go. I can have two screens running. Okay, and that indicator you can actually get on fxwinners.net. Now I'm going to post this in the chat, and I'm going to show you how to download this indicator and use it really. So if you go ahead and click free download. Okay, well it seems like that's not working at the moment. Let's see if we can try that again. Ugh. Okay, so the server is down. That's really unfortunate. But basically, what you'll do is when it is working, try back later. We'll try back later in the stream to see how it's working, and we'll try to download it again later. But keep that in mind that you do have the link. You do know how to download it. Um, but if I can't show you in this stream, I'll show you in the next one. Now, as you can see in the picture here, that this is the same indicator, but you do need to change the settings so they work. Um, and the settings, um, have to make sure and change to R20. So that is. So if you're clicking on the TMA, you'll click on half length on 20. So you're going to want to make sure that when you download the indicator that's the setting that you use. Okay. So it's too bad that's not working. So what I am doing with this actual EA is I'm testing it over multiple years of time, trying to find the best possible settings to continue to profit using this martingale scalping grid EA. Um, and just so you guys know, this strategy is not my strategy. This strategy was shown to me by a good friend that I actually met on forexfactory.com. And it was only built for the purpose of trading that is with funds that you can typically throw away in. Now I'm taking this a little bit further and using this on a pretty large account, um, but I'm using it on at 10 times less the intended risk, more than 10 times less the intended risk, or the risk that it was built for. Um, and trying to utilize it more in everyday trading instead of fund trading of funds that you can basically throw away. Now, the strategy tester here is from 2015 all the way until current dates 2017 3/24, or just before that. And you can see that the settings that I have it on now are quite good. You see that this is not uh, compounded lot sizes. This is just a standard uh, 0.10 or 0.1 for a starting balance of 20,000. So what we're looking at in this test is one thing in particular. You can see the drawdown is 10,582. 10,582 is the max drawdown. So on 20,000, that is about just over 50%. So it's like 51 or so percent in drawdown. Okay, so 51% drawdowns is high, right? It's a lot, but the thing is that this is high risk trading, so that's somewhat normal for high risk trading. The thing is that hit was hit just once in the history, which was just about in this area right here, and the rest of it was smooth sailing. Doesn't mean that we're protected, but it means that the settings that we currently have been working for at least the last couple of years. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to keep these settings, but it means that they're some of the better settings that I've found, and that I will likely keep the EA on until I find something better. And what are the settings that I'm using? Well, it's basically still working with the TMA band options. So Actually, it's in the EA. So what I remember to tell that I was telling you guys before was I'd want there to be space in between the middle line and the top line, or vice versa. So the middle line and the bottom, or middle and the top. Now, this is kind of a volatility meter. It allows us to filter out trades when they're too volatile or not volatile enough. Um, and right now we have a spacing of about 3.3 pips, or three pips from the bottom, from the middle to the bottom, and middle to the top. Um, and we want there to be more than 2 pip spacing in between for my current setting, and we don't want there to be a maximum of more than 4 pips. So right now the settings are pretty good, and it's also very the market is not very volatile right now, and so these settings will work in this market fairly well. Now, trades may take longer to actually hit profit. As you can see, this trade's been kind of just lingering for the last while in this area. It's just because there's not a lot of volume in the market, and that is because of the healthcare bill that we're waiting to hear from. All right, so you can see there's that these kind of tests can. This is a control points test. Now it says results must not be considered. And the reason why they say that is because the profit on these trades that are taken, sometimes they're not exactly the intended amount. The EA will sometimes take larger or smaller amounts of profit. And so this number that you're looking at here is not that important to me, the 52,608. What I'm looking at is the drawdown. Now the entries for the in the test that the EA made are actually accurate. It's the exits that are not always the most accurate, giving us a different gross profit amount. So that's why this test can't be considered the profit amount. Yes, this looks very impressive, and I'm looking at the balance and equity curve, yes, but I'm not looking at the dollar amount, the ending dollar amount of the test as seriously. Okay, and you should do the same in your tests when you're doing back testing. Make sure that it's an every tick test, because those are quite a bit more accurate when it comes to profit expectations. Okay, so while we're waiting for this trade to close, I wanted to share with you an EA that I've shared with in some of my past streams. This is probably the best when you're looking for EA trading. This is probably the best EA that you could actually purchase. I'm not gonna give you a link, because I don't want you to think that I'm trying to make some commission off of selling this EA. But I'm going to talk about it because I actually purchased this EA myself. It's not the cheapest EA in the world. It's $250. I purchased it, and I'm not currently using it, as I find that I want to use my EAs, my personal EAs, more, because I understand fully how they work. But this EA has done really well over the course of many months, or many years actually. You can see that it's been going since 2015, and you can see that it's been profitable just about every single month that it's been out there. This strategy uses mainly the odd USD and the Euro Swiss franc, and they actually complement each other in a hedge. So when both of them reach a certain amount of profit, either in pips or in dollar amount, all the trades will close out for a net gain. So it's basically like a basket type of trading EA, but it's done amongst two pairs. And that's similar how my pound CAD and euro pound uh, technique works as well. So what is this trade EA called? It's called Happy Forex 2.2. You can actually just search it on Google, and you'll find that this EA has some pretty good track history. I have a buddy that's using it currently and has made profit on a large account using this EA. So if you guys want something slow and something steady and something sure and consistent, this is an EA that could give you that. I know that you'll be tempted to try to scale it up by risking more, since you look at the drawdown here as only 16.4%. That's pretty low for 128%. But try not to scale up the EAs like this too much, guys. You don't want to lose. You don't want a good EA turn a good EA into something bad.
by doing that. Um, Yes, Robert Mills, careful that's on that site. It's very buggy. I completely agree, and that's one reason why I wanted to show people how to download this actual indicator. It's really unfortunate with forexwinners.net. They didn't used to be as about advertising and buggy and trying to sell you on the stuff. Unfortunately, it's gone a little bit downhill, but it still has some good information and things to offer. So obviously the link that I'm trying to get isn't still isn't working. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually search this title in Google, see if we can come up with something. Maybe we can find it on a different website. Could be on Forex Factory, could be somewhere else. Looks like Forex Winners is still coming up. Let's try a new link at Forex Winners and see if that works. Okay. All right. So it still doesn't look like it's working. Okay. So there it goes. Um, Nope. All right, so we're gonna try to find it somewhere else because, like Robert said, it is really buggy, and we're looking for TMA bands. There's quite a few indicators out there that you can that have this kind of setting or this kind of behavior. I think this one is one here. Let's see if this works. Uh, hmm. Okay, let's try it. Let's try downloading. So here's another spam thing. So you got to be careful how you approach these. Don't hit any buttons. You just do leave page, and that's the best way to go about it. Otherwise, you could get viruses on your computer. Same thing here. It's really hard to know what sites give you free downloads, and this one doesn't look like it's the best. I'm gonna click skip ad, but it's probably not. It's just not gonna. Nope. See, we're gonna run into issues again. Okay, let me see. So we're going to avoid this side as well. So we're wasting time here because I can't seem to find it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a different way of going about this, and maybe tomorrow or on Monday, sorry, on Monday, I'll find a better place to actually have you download this indicator. Um, I mean, we have this. I'll have to check it out to make sure that it's what we're looking for. But I'm not going to waste any more time with that. I don't want to give you spam or a virus on your computer. So we're going to avoid that, giving you the indicator for now. But we can watch this. So let's expand this back up. And right now we're just about to hit another order. So we're at 5 pips. So at 6 pips, that's when another order will go in. So 6 pips from the original order 1 here to order 2. So order 1, order 2 should go down in this area, or should be executed down here. Now, unfortunately, we just missed it, but doesn't mean that it may still hit. So 6 pips. Oh, it's so close. It was just basically right at it, but it didn't quite get executed. That's okay. I'm not I'm not stressing out about it because this easily could just bounce up from there and we could hit profit. Um, So better off finding it on FF. Yes, you're probably right. Usually you can find pretty much any indicator on Forex Factory. So that's what I'm going to do, Fiddy, next time to avoid getting people into trouble on their computers. Okay, let's see. What did I want to talk about further? Oh yeah, so that EA was called Happy Forex. So search that in Google if you're interested in checking that out. Current situation on the Olanda is we still have our $1,010 in there, and this is the trade that was taken. Insight candle setup that I mentioned yesterday during the stream, and it did push down a bit. Then it shot back up. Now we're looking for 50 pips on this take profit. It moved 35, so we still needed to go a bit more at this point. So we'll see what it continues to happen. I think that this isn't going to be a problem. I think that this will continue to move up because of all the drama with the healthcare bill and Trump on top of that. I think that the euro will start to creep up in a much bigger way. So with that being said, that's going to affect my my trade here at Atlanta, and I should hit profit. Okay. I wanted to. I'm just gonna sit here and kind of wait things out. If you guys have any questions regarding this system and scalping, I'd like to hear them. So because right now I'm kind of running out of stuff to talk about because this is the stream that I'm trying to do daily. So it's about showing you, uh, my trades that are currently in and how they take profit, and so you can see what live trading on a larger account at higher risk um, can look like. Um, so yeah, please let me know. So it did hit about 6 pips, but keep in mind that the spread, we have to count for this spread. So it needs to move roughly 7 pips in order for me to enter that position. And it hasn't entered quite yet. We're looking at it now. It's moving back down, and looks like we're getting close to that bottom level again. Now, if you guys are trading this manually, you'd have your finger on the, if you'd like to use this one-click trading, you can do that. So you'd press buy, and then once on your first order was at 0.9, and you'd be looking at the next level. You say, okay, if it goes down 6 pips against me, I'm going to enter another trade. Um, and since we're doubling our risk, we need to put in 18, 0.18, right? So our next order at this level, once it reaches about 6 or 7 pips, we press buy again, and that's how we run the strategy manually just by using the TMA indicator. So this system doesn't have to be run just with an EA. It can be manually traded as well. I use a similar strat with that ND on 1 hour time frame with directional bias. Yes, this is actually a pretty good indicator on higher time frames as well, uh, because even though it does repaint, but it does show you a good support and resistance even on a lower time frame. For example, you saw that the market hit this level, right? And then it went back, it shot back up a little bit, and then it went back down to that same level. So these lines actually have some merit to them. And I think you're able to see that. So the space widens depending on the size of the candlesticks, how much how large the candlesticks are. So remember how it was 3.3 pips before, and now it's 3.4 from the bottom to the top, from the middle to the top, and middle to the bottom. So the candles will wide if they widen, then the bands widen as well, giving us showing us that the market is becoming more volatile. Do you recommend your system for an account under $1,000? Uh, so let's see. The minimum that this strategy can work with at my risk setting is, what are we looking at? It's about $1,000. Uh, really? Actually, no. It's gonna be 2,000. 2,000 is the minimum that you can use the strategy on at least at my risk settings. You can attempt at using it uh, with $1,000 or under, but the thing is that you won't be able to go as many levels. So, for example, you know how I can go 10 levels on this broker? It's because I'm starting out so small with 20. So that's 0.09 lots for 20K. Okay. You can do. You can also do 0.1 for 20K as well. Uh, so that would transfer out to be 0.01 for an account of 2K. And so that's what I recommend. So you can go more levels than just a few. But this strategy was intended to go no more than 5, maybe 6 levels. So you can use it on a smaller account, but it's at your own risk. As you can see, I've taken precautions so I can last longer when trades go against me. I'm able to go, trades are able to go 60 pips or more against me, and I'm also able to go 10 levels. Um, so you could use it with a $500 account at 0.01 lots, but you understand that you're only going to be able to probably go uh, five, 4 or 5 levels. So with that being said, I would recommend maybe widening your grid a bit, looking at the price to see where there is some support. For example, if I was manually trading this strategy, I know that down here is not quite 6 pips, but I would consider entering right here. Why? Because of how many times the 1 minute chart has hit that level on multiple occasions. So it shot up, shot back down, shot up, shot back down. It's hit this place 3 times even on the 1 minute chart. There is a bit of support in this area, which leads me to believe that this could be a good place to buy into the market. Now I'm going to just wait it out since I have the EA running. I could tighten up the grid a bit by changing just one setting right there. If I change it to 5 pips, I'd probably have an entry right about this area. Okay. Unfortunate thing about LMFX is that if you go for their ECN AC, they decrease the leverage so you can't have your cake and eat it. ECN's not that big of a deal. I know that everybody's always freaking out about ECN, but honestly, I don't give a damn about it. Uh, Maybe it's because of the strategies I trade, but since I'm trading on the euro US dollar, the strategy is fine with a spread of 2 pips. Uh, I don't like seeing commission fees coming out of my account either. I'd rather have it much cleaner, look much cleaner by just having a typical standard account. Okay. Um, I know that people love ECN, but I really don't find it that much more attractive. Um, and the broker lowers the leverage because they aren't making as much money off of you from it. Um, so we're getting some volatility here, guys. Um, we'll see where it goes. Uh, so so yeah, ECN is not a big thing. I would much rather have the 1,000 to 1 leverage than an ECN account. So let's see what LMFX has to offer with their trading accounts. Okay, so let's see. So the premium account does have 1,000 to 1 leverage, uh, and let's see their fixed account. The fixed account is 400 to 1 leverage. There is no commission on that. And a zero account, this is the one that is commission, but you also have spreads from some zero pips, and so you're paying a commission. Uh, and 250 leverage is still pretty dang good. But I mean, hell, guys, for me, yeah, the 1,000 to 1 leverage, because it gives you so much extra room to work with. Leverage to me is way more important than having an ECN account. Okay. You're let's see. Unfortunate thing. Okay, so with my yeah, so Arian, I think that's how you say your name. Um, I think I explained or answered your question already. That I don't recommend more than smaller than a $2,000 account at my current risk settings. But you can use a smaller account, but you just won't be able to go as many levels as I do. And I find that the more levels I'm able to go, the safer this type of strategy is. Okay, how much should I pay a good coder if I wanted to automate my strategy? Any recommendations? It's a good question, Fiddy. I hope I'm saying that right. Fighty or Fiddy? So I wanted to kind of talk about this a bit at some point. I might do a full stream on it, but I'm just going to tell you real fast. A good place, I'll touch on it real briefly. So a good place for that is mql5.com. This is a great place to have any idea coded into an EA. You just go in under the freelance, you make an account here, go under freelance, move this over, and you do a new job, and you agreed to the agreements, um, and you put the amount in that you were wanting. Let's say your job wants to be $30 to $50. How many days do you want to give the coder? You can say 3 to 5 days is usually something that I have. And then you go into the select. What is it? Are you having a developer make indicators, experts, um, library scripts, other things? Usually I'm just doing experts or indicators. And so you select that and apply. So you do under MQL5 or MQL4, and you select the title of what your EA is, and you do a description of what you're wanting. And then once you do that, you can also attach files. You can attach a screenshot of what you're looking of what you of the instructions, um, and you can also upload documents as well if you'd like to do that. And that's how you create an order. And then once you do that, this is what it will look like. So if you go to, let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, yeah. So I actually had a recent order that went in. I'm looking for a universal trade copier. So I think a piece of software that allows my trades to be copied to pretty much any computer. Um, and so my order was basically this short. I needed an MT4 trade copier that copies trades to a completely different computer in MT4. Can this be done? And so I placed it. I did the price, $30 to $75, 5 days for the build time, and I got a bunch of people wanting to code for me, code or wanting to code this order for me. So what you can do is you can click on each individual, and you can see how many jobs that they've done, the rating, what their average price is, average time that it takes for them to actually build something, and you can go from there. So you can actually pick and choose who you want to code for you. Um, and and you, a lot of times I'll look at their reviews and how long it takes for them to actually code. And when I see that this average time, 15 days, that's kind of a long time for something to be coded. Um, I usually like things to be done in a 3 to 5 day period. And so I actually have a coder that has done 86 jobs for me, pretty much almost 86 jobs. So that's 82 different EAs that I've had created and tested to see what works. And so if you guys want to do that, that is something that you can do to pretty much code any idea that you have or have any idea that you have coded. And most of the time they don't have to cost a lot. Um, so a lot of my strategies I have implemented into EAs don't cost more than $30 to $50. So uh, it's up to you how much you feel like your strategy is worth or how difficult it may be to code. And if your price is too low uh, with your offer, then you may not get it that many coders wanting to code for you. So it's really up to you on how you want to approach that. But I hope that helps you get started on coding your idea into an EA so you can start testing it and gathering information from it to see if it's something that could maybe work longer term. Okay. Okay. Good to see you, Norbert. So what's reasonable fee for a job like the one you have? Just in case you wanted to actually make my same EA, right? It's I think that this is I have I think I have 10 different versions of this EA, testing different modifications. So I would say that over the 10 different versions that I have, I've probably spent a good $300 probably. Um, on actually having this EA created to its current form. But if it came down to it, I would say that an EA like this, it's not really complicated, but you do have some settings that could be complex for certain traders. That is, going 1 pip above the TMA band on each side, or 1 pip below. Having a filter of spacing, so no trades will go in if the spacing is too wide from the middle to the top or the middle to the bottom. Um, so I guess this is one of the more complex type of EAs that you could have created. I would say that this would be at least probably a $50 code, maybe 70, depending on the coder. A lot of times you can find newer coders that are looking for to do jobs for a lot cheaper than your standard more professional crowd. But that can be a risk to you because it may not be as good of code. They not may not be as capable of writing this kind of stuff. So it's important to have a good balance in who you choose to do a job for you, depending on the complexity. Now, the complexity means how many intricate details you want involved, how many different filters, how many different indicators do you have. Um, is the EA based on price? Is it pulling trades from an indicator? Are you using like I am an ADR filter? Um, and what does it mean? It means that it says currently the ADR filter is at 52 and the range is 61. So my EA takes trades at 70 to 70% of the actual ADR for average daily range. So that's a filter that was a little bit more complex as well. Um, so it depends. It depends on you guys. But I do recommend having an EA built because it allows you to test things that you wouldn't ever be able to do. I can't test this strategy manually because it this indicator repaints. This TMA indicator repaints, and so it's impossible to back test this test this kind of strategy unless it's in EA form. And so since I created an E8, now I know this kind of strategy can work long term. Let's see. Uh, what about how many modifications you have to make if it's not to your liking? That can be tricky because once you set up the code or the order, so for example, okay, so we have the order in place. So it's 30 to $75. Now, if you accept $75 for the actual order, that means that you can't give them extra. So they if you give them a list of things that you want the EA to have, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it has 5 options. You can, if you want to add more later on, you won't be able to add more on in that order. You'll likely have to create a new order and pay the coder again if you want to add anything different than what has already been asked of the coder. So that's how an idea can become more expensive is by the changes that you want to be made. So if you have a list of 5 options in the EA and something's not working, that's unfortunate. You're going to have to go back to the coder, pay him another fee to make that change, likely. Unless he's just a really nice guy and he may do it or girl, and they might do it for, or woman, sorry, not girl, and do it for free. That sometimes can happen, but it depends on your relationship and how many orders that you've had with that particular coder. Okay, let's see. Good to see you too, Norbert. uh, so that's what I've done, guys. I've done 86. I guess I've done 86 orders over the last 3 years. So I guess we're approaching 100 different EAs. Um, and I find that because of having my ideas created into EAs, it has allowed me to see really quickly, actually, if an idea has any potential. If an idea or strategy has any potential. Now, there's some limitations to backtesting in an EA, and I can probably show you right here if it will open up, is if you go in the features of the EA, you'll see that okay, you have a lot of years that you can select from, but we have a fixed spread. And the fixed spread is a huge issue because we all know that it's really hard to find a fixed spread broker. that actually sits to that spread indefinitely or consistently. So because the spread ranges from 1 to 2 pips, I put in 1 pip for my orders, but that is not really realistic because the spread does fluctuate most of the time. And so a lot of times what I'll do is if it's 1 to 2 pips on the spread, usually I will go on the higher end of that in my tests. So um, that means that I'm shooting for the worst possible spread condition on the EA. My EA also has a spread filter. So if the spread is too large, let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can't find it. But if the spread is too large, then um, I won't take any trades. And that's how that EA another one of the EA's filters. Um, so set it if you're testing, set it on a higher end to make sure that um, you're being flexible with your EA testing. And there's something else you don't that the EAs don't account for is the slippage, and the swaps in a lot of cases as well. And so there's added fees that can happen uh, that can cause the results of your EA to not be as accurate. So take your tests with a grain of salt because there are some things calculations that can't be integrated. So what we're testing with our EAs is not looking for a holy grail strategy. We're looking for ways to improve the strategy that we have and to see how long it's worked in the past, um, and really to see how much potential it has in general. Because the EA can show us the entries. It's great at showing us actual market entries, um, and potentially also exits, depending on the type of test that you run. If it's a model of every tick or control or open prices, usually the most uh, advanced or thorough setting is the every tick. A lot of times I'll go with control points because it shows it's faster. The test usually will go move faster along, and but it's not as accurate at showing us profit expectations. But it does show us the potential of the EA. Okay, so I hope that's some tips that you can take on and use if you decide to program your system into a robot or an EA, and how to look at the testing in a different way. Uh, that maybe the EA is built not so you can automate your trading, but so you can uh, get better ideas of how to trade better manually. That's what a lot of times I will do with my EAs is see if the strategy is workable in a manual way. Because what what is a fact? A fact. Sorry, a fact. There's the fact here is that we can trade manually better than we can trade with an EA. That's almost always the case. Most strategies can be traded manually better uh, than an EA can trade. There are certain strategies that can't be traded manually, and that's usually the grid type of trading strategy. But in most cases, if you have like a trend system that's made into an EA, usually you can trade it manually better. Um, and uh, and we also have the power of discretion in our manual trading, which is one of the most powerful tools that we have in trading. So look at this, guys. Look at this volume. This volume has been so bad this morning. There hasn't even. We're in a what is this? We're in a 7 pip range. That's how low the volume is on the 1 minute chart. Uh, that, like I said, there's nothing going on at this point. I'm probably gonna have to wait another while before I can actually exit in profit on this trade. Um, but the entry was back here. Now you can see how the slope has changed, right? Well, this trade was taken when the market hit, or the pair, or the price went 1 pip below this level, right? Um, and But since the push continued back down, the actual channel made a new form. And so that original entry doesn't even look like an entry. So we almost hit our second entry here. It was really close. We need another pip. And unfortunately, we would have been out of this trade already. But that's hasn't been the case. So it's pushing back down at this point. I kind of want to wait to see once that second order goes in, so you guys can see what it looks like, how it executes, um, even though we're at the 1 hour mark. So maybe what I'm going to do is see if there's any more questions. Yeah, waiting for the healthcare bill before volume picks up. Let me see. Any pairs that you guys want me to analyze or help you analyze. If you're in some trades and you're wanting to see on the technical side where they're going, I can also help you with that. I usually will I can dissect pairs really well without even using any indicators. Uh, so I can tell where the trend is going, where there may be potential bouncing points, support resistance, at least on the technical side. Now, because we're looking at a political event today, that's probably what's going to be the focus on driving price. So whatever we see technically may not be very effective. Sure, I can look at the Euro Japanese yen while we're waiting to see what this trade does. I kind of want it to actually hit the second level. So we'll see if that happens while I'm helping you analyze. Okay, so FX Guesser, what position are you in? Are you in long or short? But yeah, let me know if you're in long or short, and then I'll pull up gold here in a second too. Okay, so Euro Japanese yen. This is a pair that I traded quite a bit in the past. I did a lot of range trading on this pair because I liked the volatility with it. So uh, obviously the trend is down. It's been down since the 10th of March. We have the top of the channel here and the bottom here, and it's been moving down. So lower lows and lower highs. I mean, we did break here, and it did go back up, but this was the heavier resistance, and it found a resistance before this mark, so it's still considered a lower low. We had a small one here, and currently we are where we are. So with that being said, if we're looking at the larger picture of this, let me load up my. I don't like this. Oh geez, remove. I think I might have just crashed my platform. So what happened here, guys, was I think I crashed my platform because I loaded up my TMA template, which I wanted to do because of uh, the candlesticks. I like the red and green, but I think I'm gonna have to close down my platform because it's not responding. So if I can close this down in hopes that I don't miss any entries, we're gonna give that a shot. So let's open it back up and see what the damage is. Oh, I just hit the wrong terminal. So these things happen, right? We have our terminal crashes, and problems can be had. So it looks like our EA is still working. I'm going to try to remove this again in hopes that it won't crash. And did it just crash again? It looks like it did. So this is so ridiculous. Okay, so what we're going to do again is close it down. And it's probably because I have so much running in the background. Position you're currently, however, bearish. Okay. Uh, I'll look at gold in a second once I can actually close this chart down. I'm going to try again. and it's probably going to crash again. So we'll have it running, keep running in the background. And we did have another order go in. Okay, have to close it down. So I'm going to worry about this later. So we're going to close it down one more time, worry about it later, and I don't think any orders will go in on the Euro Japanese yen during the last part of my stream. Um, so this is what I'll show you that I have to worry about though. Okay, so it did close down. We're in the clear. All right, good. Um, so I was looking at the Euro Japanese yen, and we're not going to try to load up a template because apparently that's crashing my computer. So bear with me with the price action here. I'm going to get rid of the grid at least so you can actually see better. Okay. So I'll come back to that in just a second. So we're going to go to our current TMA order. Now finally our order 2 just was placed right at this location. It did push down below it a few pips. It was about 4 pips below, so we didn't have an order 3 that went in. So again, guys, order 1 was up this area. We were looking for a 6 pip grid, and it was entered down here. And now we're hoping for a push back up at this point. So we're looking for it to go into $5 profit. Sorry, 4.50. $4.50 profit. So keep an eye on that, and we'll be watching for that to see if it actually happens. Unless it continues to go back down and we have another position that goes in. So I'll be watching that as I'm talking about the euro Japanese yen. I do like this pair, but it does have heavy trends, which means that if you're not on the right side, you can get stuck in pretty deep. Now you see that just before it actually was moving up. We had a nice uptrend down here, and then recently, since the March 10th, it's been down. So we're looking at a current downtrend, but we want to mark the certain support resistance areas that are important. So we have one here, and we have the one here as well. So let's zoom in a little bit, and we can see that this area was hit twice. This area down here was hit once in the past. So because of hit in the past, it means that traders might be looking towards those areas as another place for support. It hasn't quite hit that yet, so that's where we're moving. So where is price going to go now? Where is price currently going? Well, it could easily start going back down, right? But if we're looking at the price action, we see that there is a bullish engulfing candle set up here. So I push down a new low on this candle right here, on this bearish candle, and then a bullish engulfing candle. That's when the price started shooting up and making its pullback here, right? We also had a couple right after that, a candle with a large wick, a bullish candle with a large wick. So this market is finding support in this area. We also had a wick candle here. So how far will this extend? Okay, we're going to be hitting profit here in a second, or we're getting close. Sorry to bounce out away from the euro pound, but I want to see how this is going to shape up. Okay, so you can see the difference here, guys. We're looking at the lot sizes from 0.09 to 0.18. So we're double the lot size. We're on a 6 pip grid. Right now, the bottom order is in small profit, and the profit of the bottom order is quite small, but it's because the lot size is much higher. It's going to outweigh the original order, and we're going to come out with profit probably in about this area of the market, of the pair at least. Up in here, we'll probably hit profit. Okay, so going back to the Euro Japanese yen, I do feel like this will continue. We're looking at a support area up here. So it could find support up here and then shoot back down, right? That's always a possibility. That's the first area of reversal that I'd be looking for. So if we're looking for a possible trend continuation, I would be thinking that up here would be the place for that. So a continuation down. So that pullback on the upside could be done. Now we're wanting to look for hints on when that if this is going to actually take effect. Now, if this ends up being a good bullish engulfing candle on right here that we have right now, and that turns into, we still have about 45 minutes left of this candle. If that happens, then that could be a pretty good indication that this is going to continue on back on the downside. So I'd be looking for the support, the resistance up at this point, and if we get any hints from the candlesticks that this area of support will continue to hold. Now, if we don't get any indications of that happening in here, or where it hit previously, then this could continue its extend up. Okay, so that's what I think on the Euro Japanese Yen currently. So there is our trade. Let's hit gold real fast while we're waiting to see what happens here. Okay, so gold is something that I don't typically trade a lot, guys. It's something that I haven't really been able to trade that much because Oanda doesn't offer, uh, doesn't allow for us U.S. traders to trade gold, uh, but it still behaves and it behaves differently. There are some similarities with some of the currency pairs, but it does behave a little bit differently. It can go in massive trends. It typically is very volatile. It's largely based off of the USD, uh, and um, and so a lot of price action techniques don't work quite as well on gold on the gold pair. But it has been on the uptrend for the last while. It has recovered a lot. If we're looking at the chart here, we can see that it did have a big push down, but it does a lot of times go in these big ranges, where if it goes down, it will likely recover in, a big portion of that. It's incredibly volatile during that time period. And the thing that it uh, it can happen is we can have not a lot of pullbacks in these pushes. So big push here, small pullback. So big push in this area here, small pullback, and small pullback. So when it trends heavily. So on for those of you guys that like to do trending pairs, the gold might be something to look at. Um, so right now we've been in an uptrend since the same March 10th. And will it continue? Well, it's hard to say. We're looking at the past support resistance levels. So we see where the market is currently, which is right here. So it is at a small resistance point, but the big one is back here, and we also have another one here. Um, and those are actually just the previous resistance points. We also have the previous support points as well that could be act as resistance. This one here acted as a resistance point, and these guys were connected. Um, so by marking that, let's see if the most obvious support resistance areas actually are holding. So one of them is being hit right now. So the middle bar that we marked. Uh, let's get rid of the grid again. Okay, so this area is obviously holding as a support, at least at currently. So we have it hit once here, it did bounce back down, it shot back up, hit that same level, shot back down, and currently we're bouncing back up to that same level. So this level, the 1249.69 actually has some significance to it because you see how price is behaving and reacting to that level. Um, so with that being said, I'd be looking at this level as a potential reversal point. So once it hits it a third time, look for the candlesticks to give you some hints on, is this going to be the time that it actually continues back down? Now it could just continue in this small range that it keeps doing, up and down, right all in this area at this resistance point. That could continue to happen. But the more it keeps happening, the more the market is trying to decide which way it wants to go. So we're either going to have a break of this level in a big way, or we're going to have a resistance point that is met and is uh, obeyed. So this is a turning point for this could be a turning point for gold, um, but it's likely waiting for the healthcare bill as well, and that's why we're seeing a lot of this action going on because it's waiting to find out where it wants to go. And with such a big news statement haunting uh, the market right now, people are likely waiting to take any large positions until that time. So, like I was saying, just if we're talking about the fundamental analysis and the technical, they're both matching up here. And like I was saying before, it's because we're seeing that this level is acting as a potential resistance point on the technical side. Why is it acting as a resistance point? Well, let's put it together with the fundamentals of what's going in the political side of things. Gold is very obviously run a lot by the USD, and since the fundamental side is holding off, traders are holding at this level. They're using this level to hold their positions or not even entering the market until they find out a better idea. So this could be a technical level and a fundamental level for a reversal pattern or even something to be broken. So there's some significance here, and we're going to just wait and see what happens. Okay, so let's see. I hope that helps a little bit, Samir Khan, on your gold position. No problem, FX Guesser. Euro US dollar looks like it might pivot at 1.07960. 7960. Are you saying that that you think that is going to jump up and hit 7960, so where it is currently, and then jump back down, or are you thinking that it's going to actually continue to rise up from there? Because so you're saying that the pullback is extended here, and then we have a continuation of the trend of this move, of this bigger move on the downside. So that could potentially happen. I'm not sure why 1.0960 is the place, but we are at a very uh, crossroads position here. Why? Because of the whole number. We are right near the whole number, guys. Actually, it's right up there. 1.080080 is the whole number. So we could see some volatility in this area um, once the market decides to pick up. I'd imagine that the Euro US dollar will hang out in this area for the next few hours. If it goes down, it won't go down much. If it goes up, it probably won't go much up either until something is decided. Um, so if we go to the Euro US dollar and we go to the 1 hour, so let's see what it is doing. And we see that on the 1 hour, we have some indecisive candles, 3 of them to be exact. And it is starting to push down a little bit, um, but it is having a pullback there too. Uh, this whole number is acting, uh, it's not wanting to break past it. It's pushing back down, and it's not wanting to break past it. So it's probably going to just go in this range in this area for the next while until we have some news to really push it in the other direction. Okay, so we're in profit now. And once this trade closes out, I plan on ending the session. We're looking for $4.50 profit on this trade, and we'll see if we get it. Go bearish at that point is what Jason is saying at the 960 level. So it's just surpassed that level by 1 pip. A wedge is forming. I don't what Jason Kelly, what time frame are you looking at? Because when I'm looking at the 1 minute chart, I can't get a lot of hints on where price is going. I can I can get some, and that is like I can see what levels get hit multiple times. So uh, I look at things like this, these small swing levels. I see that uh, this went back down, got close to this level, bounced back up. I see the price bounced here and bounced here back up and forth the small range in this area, showing that there is some support, some support here. Uh, I see that there is a whole number in this area, so there's going to be some bouncing up and down. So that kind of stuff is what I can only see on the 1 minute chart, and that's why I actually had to pull out and look at the 1 hour to get a better idea of what's taking place. So we're still just hanging around our profit level, um, and I think it will hit, but hopefully not in the next. We're not waiting here for 5 minutes. Okay, so really close. There it goes. All right, so you saw it hit 450 and it closed out. You can see that our little profit mark here. Order one, order two, and close out for profit. And let's look at the pip amounts. I need to go to this. It's not showing me my entries for some reason with the arrows, but we can still get the idea. 4 pips from the bottom and 3 pips from the top. So we actually came out with positive pips on this, but because the order size was much larger, uh, we came out with um, a positive in dollar amount. Oh, there we go. So that's working now. Uh, yep, 4 and 3. So you can see here that one order closed out in $7.20 and the other one closed out minus 2.88. Yeah, Jason Kelly, it's really, yeah, like I said, it's really difficult to know where price is going on the 1 minute chart. We have some tools that can help us. Like I said, this indicator can show you where those natural areas of support and resistance may be. That's why this indicator can be pretty helpful on this uh, using it on the 1 minute chart. We're just about to get another trade actually here. We're gonna have another entry. Potentially. It just needs to go a little bit higher before we have another one. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so we have another entry. Let's see how this one turns out. But the market's starting to pick up a little bit. And it's been a while since I've actually looked at the news to make sure that no health care bill has been decided, because if that is, things will really start to skyrocket or get volatile just in general. So it's important to know what's happening so that I don't get stuck in that. Hanging in the balance, so it doesn't look like anything has been decided yet. Uh, CNN is probably not the best website to find for uh, really quick updates. Forex Factory is actually pretty good at sending the tweets that come in for things that happen. Looks like nothing's going on, so we're good. So we have the one trade that's entered. It looks like this extend is going to continue. That our natural area of support wasn't quite obeyed, at least not yet. We might have another entry, and if it does, then we'll look for that pullback to happen on the 1 minute chart. But like I said before, guys, we are at a whole number, and so we should see some ranging happening in this area because of such a big political event that's happening. Uh, Highly recommend ICE-FX draw profit indicator will auto draw your pip profit amounts when the trade closes. ICE-FX. Oh, thanks for the tip, Zach. I'm going to check that out to see if it might be helpful for you guys to see um, uh, better, and also more helpful for me too. So bear with me so I copy and paste that. Okay. Talking but no vote yet. Yeah, that's isn't that the case? I don't feel like they're going to make a decision today. Um, and uh, and so we're going to be back in the same boat like we were before. Uh, Bloomberg has someone on the ground and waiting for the updates from Congress. Yeah. Um, so the later that the day goes on, uh, the less likely I am to continue to trade. When the health care bill is decided, either they don't decide, or they decide that it's not going to go forward, or that it is, it's going to cause volatility no matter what. And the volatility may be a little inconsistent. I don't think it's going to shoot straight up or straight down. I think it's going to be a little bit choppy, but I do think it will be volatile. And I don't think I would really want to take part in that. Um, how wide are the level entries? I think that's what you're asking. The EA level entries, they are 6 pips from each other. So, like I said, order 1 and order 2 here, we're 6 pips apart. And then when this jumped back up and crossed the red line, it had to go 1 pip above, and then the entry took place. So I wanted to extend past these lines a bit before I take any entries. Yes, Andy, it may be bad to hold any big trades. I will make sure and close out all of my positions, even if they're in loss, on my scalping before the weekend is up. I don't want to hold martingale or high risk trades over the weekend. Now that's a different story for my trades that will go in on the pound CAD and euro pound though. I will potentially hold those over the weekend. So we're currently in profit right now on our current position. We're at about 3 pips profit, or it did hit 3 pips profit at one point. We're at $24,084. What that looks like is, let's refresh. So it says 30. So that was point. So we're at 0.1% profit today. I like to keep around 0.3. We had about 0.3 yesterday. I might call it a lower profitable day because of the healthcare bill thing news taking place right now. So you know what? I've gone on for an hour and a half. I can't go on all day. I'm sure that you guys are probably getting bored with me now. Uh, I'll answer a few more questions while this and once I finish the questions, I'm probably going to end the stream. Um, but the politicians promised. Yeah, right. They promised for an answer today. That's such bullcrap. I feel like Trump's ultimatum is is not going to go well. And once they decide that they're not going to take his healthcare bill, that I think he'll continue to fight. Maybe at least that's what I would think he would do. He's not going to take no for an answer. He's just not. That's just not Trump. Um, might be bad to hold over the weekend if the trades are big. Yeah, okay, I already answered that. Have you tried this in Rinko bars? Now, Rinko is something. Fiddy, thank you for your questions. I feel like you have some really good questions. Um, but it's something that I've actually been, actually, all of you, thank you for your questions. I don't want to single any of you out, but it's something that I'm working on right now. Let me see if I can pull it up. Um, so I'm looking at a Rinko bar strategy at this moment, and I've actually coded it into an EA. I haven't tested it fully because it's really difficult to backtest Rinko strategies, and I haven't had the time because of the new broker at LMFX that I've started with. But the strategy basically is we enter with the when the we're looking at this. We're looking at this channel. Channel has to be pointing up for any uptrends, any up trades, any buy or long trades, excuse me. And if it's pointing down, then we're looking for short positions, right? This Rinko bars strategy is I'm looking at taking positions when the color of this indicator changes, and we have bullish Rinko bars, and then we exit when the color changes here. Now this is actually a system that I got on um, forexwinners.net, and seeing if there's any potential, if anything I can find uh, that this to make this type of system profitable. So something I'm looking into definitely. Let's see. Enjoyed your stream. Thanks so much. You're welcome, Jason. Did you just enter S in Euro US dollar? I did back, but this was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 minutes ago. So yeah, I entered a short position about 8 minutes ago. It's still on the downside. I think this will hit profit. But this is actually a pretty good time. I would hope that this continues, but the problem is we just don't know when that healthcare bill they're gonna come out with a decision. And once that happens, I could get stuck in a trade, and I'm not too interested in that. But I like this kind of action. It's right at the whole number, so we get this ranging type of movement that can give me some good profit. Let me see. Any other questions? I think that is going to be it. I want to end with one thing though. And that is, if you guys are looking into LMFX, so far I've had a really positive experience. It's only been a day with them so far, but I am entering high risk trades, and you can see I showed you I've entered on a high stake grid here, up to three lots, three lots of this top order. Okay, and that in all these orders were executed exactly when they should. This is some of the best execution I've had with the broker in my 10 years of trading. Now let's see if they actually decide to keep that up. A lot of times when a broker sees me profiting and profiting off high risk orders, they sometimes will start manipulating the price a little bit. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that to see how they behave as my experience with them continues to move forward. But they have been a very good broker and so far have been the best at as and execution using this type of trading scalping strategy. They also give you 1,001 leverage and a deposit bonus of 100%. Now, if you join, you can join, and I do have a link in my description that leads you to the broker, and I can help you get a $1.80 uh, discount or rebate for every one lot order that you execute. So, for example, if you're doing a 0.1 lot trade, so that's a zero point 0.1 lot, 0.1, that means you're getting a rebate of 18 cents on every trade that you take at that risk level. And if you use this broker, I guess by clicking my link, I don't get any commission off of you joining the broker, but I can give you rebates uh, by joining them, and that can help you get some money back as you trade with the broker. So a pretty cool bonus that I'm able to offer. Um, and so far, I'm really liking them. I'm not gonna press this broker too much because it's not about the broker. Although this strategy is able to be done because of this broker, so I will talk about them a lot. But I don't want this to be some kind of advertisement for LMFX. It's only if you want to join them yourself, and I'll tell you my experience and show you where to go if you want to join, but and how I can benefit you potentially if you do. But this is about the strategy and making money. This is about making as much money as possible on a $24,000 account and how to appropriately uh, uh, handle uh, trading at a high risk um, at a broker like this. So, anyways, let's see. There's one more question that came in. Being in the UK, they don't offer a GBP, Great British Pound, LMFX, only offer USD or Euro. Interesting. I didn't know that. Thanks uh, for the information. I didn't. Does that mean that you can't join? Uh, that you can't join LMFX? I think you can still join them uh, from the UK. You just might have to transfer your funds into Euro or USD. Um, so I'm not really sure how that works. It might be something I'll look into for you guys because it is something that's important. Because it might be difficult transferring your funds in from this amount and that amount in dollars to pounds to euros and so on and so forth. I could, but would have to trade in USD. Uh, yeah, I see the problem there. It's hard to when you're used to seeing pounds or used to seeing dollars. It can throw you off a little bit to see the amounts. It wouldn't bug me too much if I had to trade in British pounds or in euros, because I can do the exchange rate. And I still am trading the same amount of lots. It doesn't have a whole lot of difference to me when it comes to volume of actual trading. So uh, yeah, I think that's where I am right now. But it's something I'm going to look into, Andy, for you guys because um, I don't want you to get stuck into something that you don't want to be in. Um, and I like both of the brokers I'm with. Oanda is another great broker, but they only offer 50 to 1 leverage for US dollar US clients. And that's why I started at LMFX, is because of what they are able to offer me. Not sure how you can exchange would work on withdrawals. Yeah, Andy, thanks for bringing that up. I'm going to ask LMFX about it because I'm actually interested in finding that out for myself as well. All right. Well, guys, we still have this trade in. It's a $1.50 profit, not a lot. We haven't really made a lot during the stream, unfortunately, just because of the low volatility today. But I hope things will pick up more on Monday when maybe things are better decided on the healthcare bill. But expect a potential big gap if they haven't decided until if they decide over the weekend. There could be a huge gap in the market. So be careful with your positions, your open positions over the weekend. Uh, Maybe consider closing them out and go from there. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and I will see you at 9 a.m. on Monday. Have a good Friday, and see you later.